You guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, you guys. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to
Creative Happy Hour.
where we get drunk
On the creative possibilities.
each and every week with
Yes, we do.
you guys. Woohoo! With you creatives, artists, creative entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
all of that shit. We're getting creative.
Artsy
Fartsy
type.
guys. We're getting creative with you. And today we are drinking
The beautiful.
the beautiful cocktail. You guys know that we often pick our cocktails for the name, and this is one of those times. So the beautiful is something quite stronger than we wanted to drink today.
But it's simple.
It's simple.
Cognac.
And
Grand Marnier.
Grand Marnier.
I'm not French. She's
Grand
from.
Marnier. And but we are drinking the beautiful cocktail because we wanted to talk about beauty and success, because we have heard too many smart people saying, I'm not pretty enough to have a show on YouTube, and I'm not pretty enough to be successful, and I'm not good enough looking to be a celebrity. And my voice is beautiful. I know.
And we actually are like,
We're
you're
like,
actually
fuck you,
really
look at us.
pretty. You're
Yeah.
just not smart enough.
Exactly.
That's
So
a different problem. But that's not what
Totally.
the show's about
That's not
today.
what the show's about. The show is about beauty and success, and what part of beauty actually does enter into success, and how to tip the scales in your favor, and how to kind of find the antidote against this whole beauty myth. We're going to be talking a bit about
Yes, we're going to
Naomi
talk
Wolf,
about the beauty myth.
the beauty myth, and we're going to talk about things that you can do to stop thinking that beauty is the end-all be-all while still looking hot as fuck. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You drink one of these, you feel like,
I
I look
feel good.
great.
Yes. So we're gonna taste this beautiful cocktail,
yes.
and we're gonna check it out, and then we're gonna.
Ooh, it is warm in
it is-
here.
It's like 95
It is
degrees.
1,000 degrees. I feel like I am in the oven right
We might
now.
not look hot, but we feel hot.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
feel hot
It is,
every day
yeah.
as a creative. Okay.
Woo.
Cheers
Cheers
to you.
again.
Let's check out the beautiful cocktail. Okay, let's do it. Damn, that shit is strong.
Damn.
It's pretty
As
tasty.
my dad
though.
says,
Right?
that'll knock your dick in the dirt. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, so you do not look beautiful when you say quotes from my dad. That is not a way to look attractive. Like, if you're out on a date, do not quote
Don't talk
my
about it.
dad. My dad will say things like that, and you're just like, dun, dun, dun. You're not attractive when you say, that'll knock your dick in the dirt.
The other day I was talking to a friend, and I was saying I was just left with my dick in my hand. Same. I'm sorry.
It's the same thing. I mean, I kind of feel like we've had a heat stroke.
Okay, we had 2 glasses of wine before we
Like, full disclosure.
Full disclosure, we
When
did do our
she had to
research.
tell me a story, and
A
she was
very
like, I was like,
amazing
I
story.
need Sauvignon Blanc for that story.
Yes. And so we
Anyway,
got some. And
yeah.
so 2 glasses later.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how we always say that we just get drunk on the creative possibilities and not on anything else? Well, we lied. Today we've been drinking.
Most of the time it's true.
Most of the time it is true.
Ugh.
But today, you know what? Okay, I feel like the subject of beauty is really sensitive to a lot
It's
of people.
kind of stressful. You're just
It
like,
is.
you're like, can we just get wasted and pretend
Yeah.
like it's not
Yes.
happening? Do
Yes.
we not have
So-
to talk about this?
Right, so that's what we did. We do have to talk about it. So we
And-
got wasted first. That's what we did.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens. I think it's
Yes.
I think it's a topic that is
It's major.
very, very sensitive.
It's super sensitive to so many people more and
Yeah.
more because, and we'll talk about that why later, but let's stay on subject because that's, okay.
Let's guzzle more of this cocktail.
First of all, we're super pissed because we just saw that whole figure about how men are more attractive if they're creative, and then women are viewed as less attractive if they're creative. So we're like,
Yeah, it makes
so
you
we're
wanna
just gonna
kill someone.
right.
and,
So we're just
you
gonna
know.
drink some more. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. So this was invented by our buddy Harry Cipriani.
Yes,
For
at
Harry's
Harry's
Bar.
Bar.
We've mentioned.
1948.
Oh, you're so good at
I know.
dates.
Don't
You're
get
so
used
good
to
at
it.
dates.
Don't
I know,
get used
like
to it.
a
I wread
best.
that shit down. Do
You did.
not get
You're
used
so
to
good.
it.
I know, but Cipriani, I mean, he is such an interesting person because every other cocktail we used to listen to, we read and be like, oh, Harry's Bar. He's just a marketing, maven is what he is. Come on, give me a break. He didn't make that shit up. And this cocktail is very simple.
He's like the beautiful.
He's the beautiful. I'm going to call it the beautiful. So it's the beautiful is beautifully simple.
Yes. And if you drink it, anyone you look at will be beautiful because
it's like
you will be
beautiful goggles. Beautiful goggles.
Yeah,
it's
love
amazing.
goggles.
Yes. So we were talking about that. We were talking about the love goggles. I love this. Let's talk about the recipe, then we're going to talk about the love goggles. So the recipe is just half Hennessy.
Yeah, Hennessy.
Half Hennessy and
cognac. And you can use any cognac. We happen to have Hennessy, but he did invent it with Hennessy.
Right. And then you've got the half Grand Marnier. Which it basically is orange. Grand Marnier. So it's orange liquor.
Yeah. Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, it is.
Great.
Yes, it is.
I didn't read the bottle.
And you can choose to go with Cointreau instead, but it's a slightly different thing. Even though they both have orange, but it's a different type of thing. The Grand Marnier adds more sweetness to it.
Yes.
Just like us. And that's it. So let's talk about, I loved your thing that you were telling me about, the love goggles.
Oh, yeah. So I looked like shit this weekend.
No, but you thought you looked like
shit.
Okay.
I don't remember why, but it was one of those things where you're like, you get home from work, you're still in your scrubs, you have like mascara smeared.
I think that's sexy. The mascara smeared.
You're starting to break out because you didn't wash your face the night before, girl.
Yeah.
Girl, wash your face.
Don't wash your face.
Girl didn't wash her face. And what else? You haven't been to an esthetician in years. You're like growing a beard. It happens.
It happens.
Some shit was happening.
Okay.
And my boyfriend, who you guys know, we were in a little bit of
some ups and downs.
We were in a little bit. I took down the feng shui.
She took down the love. What was it? It was a love temple. It wasn't a love
temple.
It
was kind of a love temple. But I put some things back there to just keep.
Did you put them back?
Well, we're working it out.
Wow.
We're working it out.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Okay, wow.
Anyway, so he was like, "You're so beautiful," and I was like, "You just drank too many beers."
Oh, you're like, you have beer goggles on.
I was like, "You have beer goggles on."
He's like, no.
He was like, "No, baby, I have love goggles on."
Oh, I love that. But that's an amazing
goggles.
Love goggles. Yeah. I think that we all need to find a way to cultivate the love goggles.
Yes.
Not only in those around us, but also in ourselves. Like when you look at yourself in the mirror. So this is a major thing. When I was researching this thing, the little that I researched, I was seeing that so many people actually research the terms, am I too ugly to be loved? Am I too ugly to be successful? Am I too ugly to be on YouTube? No, you're not. Look at us. I'm too ugly, this, that. And it's like, no, that's not what's holding you back. But learn to look at yourself with kindness because we learn to look at ourselves in such, a horrible, destructive way.
Yeah.
Start to look at yourself with the love goggles and be like, here are my qualities because, you've got that kind of situational thing. So let's talk about the beauty myth first.
Well, let's talk about the premise of the beauty myth.
Yeah, why is beauty so important to people?
Basically, Naomi Wolf wrote this book
The Beauty
Myth in 1990. When it was published in 1990.
So she wrote it in the 80s. I was kind of right.
She wrote it in the 80s. It got published in 1990.
Yes.
And basically the premise of the book is that women have gained a social prominence in society that they didn't have before, power and prominence that they didn't have before. And along with that, they also simultaneously gained a stronger sense of feeling like beauty, their physical beauty was this. There was more social pressure.
Right. And there's a commodification of beauty.
Basically adhere to unrealistic social pressures for physical beauty. So
and Naomi Wolf named like the beauty industry and magazines, media.
Yeah, and she basically said it was because we were getting bombarded by mass media, and mass media was telling women that if you want to continue to gain prominence and power and social,
you need to be skinny.
You need to be skinny. You need to be pretty.
You need
your boobs need to be up.
Yes.
I just wear black,
which at first, but the funny thing is that part of the people who read this book were like, "Oh my God, this is like the latest feminist manifesto. This is a really important book." And then you had other intellectuals like Camille Paglia who were like, "No, this is bullshit. She totally fudged her figures, and this is not even important." So already, just even in the female intellectual creative community, you're getting a lot of pushback on this book because I think it's a very sensitive subject. I think that the minute you start telling people beauty is important at all, they freak out. But it's not just women. So this episode is not just for the ladies.
No,
I mean,
it's not.
Men have the same pressures. I think that but the thing is that it's going faster and faster. I think it's easier to be more relative now because you look and see what the trends are in the beauty.
Right.
And you see how they change so fast, you start to realize that the beauty has an actual purpose in the marketing, in the economics of a thing. Why are the models so skinny? Because the clothes hang off. Why is the skin so smooth? Because it's, not distracting from anything. And then you can, sell the other stuff in the picture. So that's kind of interesting to look at why the big ass in fashion.
Yeah, and I think there's the opposite where people are looking for idiosyncrasies, where they're like, where can we find a place where there's an inconsistency to create dissidence with these really consistent, harmonious versions of beauty.
And that's where we come into the relationship between the creativity and the beauty, because does the artistic sense, you talk about artistic and you talk about aesthetics kind of often lumped into one.
Yeah, and when we define that, we talk about, symmetry, harmony, balance, those kind of things.
Absolutely. So those things are the traditionally beautiful elements that you search for in a piece of art, a piece of music, a piece of architecture, whatever. However, you were saying, but you have that antidote, you have that ugly piece all of a sudden that creates a dissonance, but that ugly piece very neatly falls into that argument. It falls into balance that.
Yeah, so, it does.
The Jackson Pollocks of this world who were just splattering paint and people were saying that's just ugly and chaotic. They were coming in as a counterpoint to the too smooth, too perfect art of the time. So it's
too curated. And I think, that, you look at ourselves culturally and you see, the tattoo world, and you see things where you have a tattoo here and it's off balance with, it's not, and I think that's
or the piercings and stuff.
And they're counterculture to typical standards of beauty.
Yeah.
And typical standards of, Frida Kahlo was a perfect example of someone who was using her own personal, self-evaluation. She was looking at herself.
She was evaluating herself constantly.
Yeah, she was saying, I'm not attractive. That's why Diego cheats on me. I don't know what she was saying. I can't speak
She was saying she was
Frida,
weak because she had that accident and she was physically weak. She always thought she was kind of twisted and that she was the uglier one, but she did have a conventionally beautiful face, except she chose that monobrow as her counterpoint in her identity to kind of take back the discourse about how she looked. And I think, and just in terms of the fashion of what she was doing, so that's an important message that we're going to be delving into a little bit more deeply. As much as you define the parts of yourself that you think are less attractive, you can also choose the parts of yourself that will define you and that will actually become iconic. Doesn't matter what the scale of it is, but it will become kind of iconic to anybody who cares or loves you or is looking at you or that you're trying to sell things to. So that's kind of important.
Yeah, and I also think, we were talking earlier about how we define beauty as something that we can see visually and we can take it apart and we can critique it.
Mathematical formula.
However, I think what I think is so interesting is that podcasts are at an epic all-time high.
Because I think people feel the pressure of the beauty.
Well, and I also think that a lot a lot of podcasts are just audio, though they're not necessarily video. So
that's what I'm saying. I think the audio gives people that respite. It gives them that safety.
They can shine in another way. Yes. I was telling you that story. I was listening to Oprah, and she was talking about, she grew up with Maya Angelou.
I love this story,
was her, was
her idol.
Her idol because, Maya Angelou grew up in the church. She was a black woman. She identified with her as someone who, and so she said as an adult, when she finally met Maya Angelou, it was like meeting like a famous rock star.
Oh,
to
yeah.
her, it was rock star status. And she was describing, when I first met Maya Angelou, we got together, she cooked me a meal, she sat at my feet and she read me poetry.
I mean, that's
and immediately when I heard it, and
yeah.
and Oprah says, I feel like I could cry thinking about it.
Wow. See, that's
and I almost started crying. Well, and it was gorgeous.
That's
it was. I could picture this loving exchange.
Yes, yes.
And she never once talked about what Maya Angelou was wearing, what she looked like, what she cooked for dinner,
like,
what
girl,
her hair looked like, what her weight was.
How much you weigh? Did you lose weight? Yeah, none of it. Which lipstick were you wearing?
And I was moved, and in my mind, I took a picture and I said, that is so beautiful. Yes. To myself. That is so beautiful.
It is so beautiful.
And we have this idea, and we're told by mass media that beauty is
all physical, all the time.
Physical, it's all physical all the time. I like that. All physical all the time. Well, and it's a lie. It's a fucking lie.
Well, when I think of Stieglitz and Georgia O'Keeffe.
Yeah, oh yeah,
so
totally.
Here are two people. So she's creating paintings that are beautiful out of things that are sometimes not traditionally beautiful. Like she's taking the skulls and she's taking all this stuff and making it gorgeous. And then she's taking the flowers and taking that feminine
she's working with lighting
mystique out of it. And she's, but she is creating some things that are traditionally beautiful. But was she a traditional beauty? No, nobody even thinks about what Georgia O'Keeffe looked like.
No.
But Stieglitz, who was a photographer, and it also worked with light, worked with photography, looked at everything.
With structure.
He and she had this beautiful relationship based on their creativity that I think that each one thought the other one was, the best.
Totally.
It didn't enter into it. They had the love goggles on.
Yeah,
completely.
the love goggles.
The love goggles. So I think that that's a majorly important thing. So we had mentioned the fact that men are considered more like good looking.
Yeah. So wait, who did this study and
this
why is that even true?
So Christopher Watkins, PhD. I'm like, so what?
What?
Yeah.
He's a PhD.
He has a PhD.
That asshole has
that asshole has a PhD. Christopher Watkins.
Driving me to drink.
Right? So he mentions that men who are more creative, it kind of shows that they have more of an evolutionary advantage.
Seems like some kind of bias.
It does very
doesn't
much.
Sound like science to me.
It doesn't sound very much like science, but this article actually got a lot of, it got shared everywhere. It got some major shout outs from everybody. And I was like, assholes. But yeah, he's saying that for men, it's kind of an evolutionary advantage because the men, if you're like, oh, they're problem solvers or they're, original or they stand out, it's all these advantages. And then they literally said that women who are plain but kind of like dull, it's actually many men like that better. And I was like, I don't care about those men.
I'm not going to name any names.
I don't care about those men at all. Like, that's crazy. That article itself seemed to me like one of those pieces
how many times have you been like with a bunch of people, women, and you're just like, she's got a husband and I don't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like, she's got one and I don't.
Right?
I'm just like, boring.
Well, that's the thing. You were talking about somebody that you knew.
I'm joking.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Okay, I'm not joking.
You were saying about somebody that you knew who was physically beautiful when she was younger, still is working on being physically beautiful as she defines it.
Yeah.
And that as
the relationship... really working on it.
Really working it. And as the relationship has worn on, and I do say worn with in full knowledge of the cause, as it's worn on, her inner self has not grown in any way.
Yeah, so I felt like there were I felt like early on, her beauty and her stamina and her talent was very easy to
emulate, and not emulate, but to admire.
Yeah, to admire. And then as time wore on, she couldn't really completely cling to that as much anymore. It became disinteresting to her. And so I think, because it was such an easy run, she really was like, oh, everybody thinks I'm attractive, everybody thinks I'm smart, and then she didn't really do any work in the meantime on any deeper levels of interesting anything. So I was like, boring.
Well, it's like the kids who do really well in school kind of naturally when they're younger. My son. And then they end up hitting a wall. Yeah. But the interesting thing is that they did all the studies about the children who are more attractive or perceived as more attractive actually do better in school earlier on because the teachers have this bias. And okay, so let's talk about that because we're talking about the relationship between beauty and success, and people think that they need to be beautiful to be successful. Very honestly, I think that the relationship between beauty and success is limited to certain industries, is certain situations. So yeah, if you're a kid in nursery school and you're awfully cute and you're a little shit, the teacher's gonna feel much more, forgiving if you're an asshole. But once you start getting to, university, or you start getting to grad school, I think that it's harder to keep holding on to that.
Because of course. I mean, at this point, your professor's already been through.
They've been
through all the cute girls in the college classes. They've seen it all. There's not,
they're not impressed anymore. No. So I think that there's that, and then of course you've gotten certain industries where.
I mean, that didn't happen to me in college.
It seems kind of personal, but maybe not. But there are other industries where being cute helps. But it's not an absolute requirement.
And I've had this experience already, as I've gotten, getting older, where I've maybe in the past will get attention in places that, maybe just because I'm younger and I'm more attractive and more elastic,
flexible,
and my boobs are a little bit higher, and where I'm a little bit more invisible, and I've noticed that, and for me, I'm not looking for any superficial interactions at this point, right? But if you haven't deepened your
then you still are. Then
your vision and your concept of beauty,
then you're looking for
that, and
it's very hard,
and it's going to be very, very painful.
Very much
it's going to be painful.
And
I'm saying that even sometimes I'm like, oh, I realize.
Am I chopped liver? What's going on?
I realize. I'm like, oh.
Well, what's funny is that you're right about the fact that all of a sudden you feel a little bit of an invisibility. However, I feel that the people who are kind of worth it start to take more notice for the right reasons. And so that's kind of refreshing, because when you're young and hot, the guys aren't going to be looking for your intellect. They don't care. That's not what they're looking for.
They're like, how easy is it to get her in bed? How many drinks do I have to buy?
Right? And then they don't care about, and if you start talking about something deeper or more creative,
I actually had I don't even know if you want to call him a boyfriend.
Let's do it. We'll call him a relationship.
Well, we call him Dr. Evil.
Yeah, Dr. Evil.
So he used to always say, can't you just dumb it down a little bit? And I'd be like, what?
I'd be like, no.
I'd be like, no, I cannot dumb it down.
No.
Sorry that you're so dumb.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to smart it
up. I've already dumbed it down by spending time with you.
Exactly. It's
Meanwhile,
okay.
He didn't get it.
And I think that this is, to me, I just feel like this is a choice of, are you going to keep dumbing it down? Because I really like to be a little bit cruel. Let's be cruel. And let's say, if you're living in the superficial world past a certain age, you're done. And of course we want to look our best. I'm not saying you don't want to look our best. And we're going to talk about how you look your best as we move on, as we get a little older and everything else. But if you care that much about every little detail that nobody else cares about, because we have that bias where we look at ourselves all the time, we care about ourselves. Nobody cares about us. Let's stop. But the people who love you are going to think you're attractive anyway for different various and sundry reasons. But I think that as healthy as you get older and have more things to do and say, and you want to navigate this world in an easier way, to kind of be happy about the relative invisibility, and then you can choose to shine when you care to, and you can choose those elements that you push forward. We know, we have a friend who's very beautiful woman, and as she's aged, she's like, it's awesome, I'm invisible now, I can wear whatever the hell I want to a party, and I can rewear the same thing, and everybody doesn't know because they don't care, and she can shine in those things that matter to her. And I think that's a beautiful freedom, rather than being stuck having to be the hottest chick in the room every time. That's horrible,
Well, and I think that, I think Naomi Wolf was, I will argue that on some level she was absolutely right on the money, because, I look back, my grandmother lived to be 94.
Oh, wow.
And
is this the grandmother with the ice grandma?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ice grandma.
Ice grandma.
Yeah. So my grandmother lived to be 94, and she was a badass, And I mean, she was a woman that got up at church when a preacher was anti-birth control, and she was like, you didn't have 7 children like me. If they had birth control in my day, I would have been eating it by the handful, she said, and walked out. And I mean, if you can't respect a woman like that, I don't know what you can do. But she was a badass. And, you know, I remember her on Sunday, you know, she was a farmer, she was a tobacco farmer. She didn't wear makeup on a regular basis, but Sunday, we would go to church, she would put red lipstick on, and she would put a red hat on, and she would put blue eyeshadow on, and she would rock the blue eyeshadow.
You had me until the blue eyeshadow. Yeah. Well, they say that
but she had these ice blue eyes, and she would just wear like it really thick. She would wear it really thick on her lid, kind of like they do now.
Yeah.
You know, and it was so epic, and I always thought that she was so gorgeous. And she was overweight. She was thrashed. I mean, she had been through.
She'd been through a lot.
She had been through, and my grandfather worshipped her, and you knew that he worshipped her.
He had the love goggles.
He had the love goggles, and he would always talk about her. He'd be like, "Oh, she was the prettiest girl on the town square." And so I feel like I came from that era where, you know, women, you know, I considered her powerful, intelligent. You know, my family worshipped her.
Yes.
When she passed away, it was a very, very sad day. And, you know, I have pictures of her all over my apartment. But she really gave me this concept of beauty.
Yes.
For the female beauty. And I've never really, you know, I feel like that was a blessing for me, because I
think that's a blessing to see that in action.
But I don't feel like young people are getting that experience, and that's the part that I'm concerned about.
Because I think that any young people who are listening to us, I mean, look at your parents if they're still together. I mean, they look at each other and they don't see every little physical flaw. That's not what happens. Like, when somebody loves you for who you are and they've gone through a lot with you, and this could be as a creative, an artist, a creative entrepreneur, or a relationship, this fits with anything. Those little flaws are not seen anymore at all. They're just part of that person.
Well, yeah, they're considered your idiosyncratic. Yeah. I mean, they set you apart.
It's your identity.
Yes. That makes you not somebody else. They love you and not someone else.
Right. I mean, and so those are the things that everybody sits there and they dissect. And I have to say, a friend of mine just recently got her whole face and body redone. She looks okay, but to me she looks like a completely different person. And as a friend, I still see the interior side of her, which honestly for me it's like she could have been a burn victim at this point and kind of lost her whole face, and I would still think of her kind of the same way because of what's inside. I don't think
that's how you really feel.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't think she looks worse. I don't think she looks better. She looks less familiar to me. I've lost a piece that I
familiar. I like that word. I like that choice of words.
Familiarity is important. Like, that's that authenticity, the familiarity. That's why I think if you're
familiar means that you're connecting.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's comfortable
when you're familiar with something, that means you connect. And when you connect, then you have an emotional experience.
So when you change something physically, or to the identity of your brand, or to the style of your paintings or of your sculpture, you're breaking that sense of familiarity, and you think you're going towards a better, you know, aesthetic choice. But sometimes I don't think that's the best choice to really have your followers or your passionate people who love what you do or who you are. So, like, I think, and for my friend, like, she's just my friend, so it's fine. I mean, I'll get used to her face, I'm sure, because we're gonna have some further interactions where I'll be like, okay, she's still the same person, and I'll learn to kind of, you know, be familiar with that new face.
With the new face.
But I think, like, her, you know, boyfriend now, my God, how does he interact with that? I mean, it's like, it must be very disconcerting.
I'm like,
well, it must be disconcerting. I just think, you know,
it's that different. Yeah,
it is that. Well, it's that different, and I think everybody. I told you earlier, I fell down that rabbit hole of the YouTube plastic surgery. Even just the fillers and the, you know, injections and this and that. I mean, some of the changes are so drastic that I'm like, how can you recognize yourself in the mirror? And I get, like, if there's something you hate about yourself and is preventing you from really going out there, I mean, I would recommend try to look at it objectively first. Be like, is it really that bad? Am I really, am I horrifying? Do I hate myself that much? Can I not move past this?
Well, yeah. I mean, pretty much all through my 20s, I had cystic acne. Mm-hmm. I had it really bad as a teenager. I mean, luckily, when you have acne like that, when you're older, because your skin is so oily, unless you have like terrible scarring, which I didn't have, you generally look younger for longer. So you get these these delayed benefits.
Lose than win.
However, I still get acne. I mean, I'm going to be 45 in October, and I still, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, wrinkles and acne, not sexy.
It's not awesome.
But I remember...
But it's not a big deal.
I remember for when I was younger, it was a big deal, because all of my friends had clear skin. And I was
just kind of miraculous. How did they do that?
They did. I was struggling. I mean, this
I
is
think
all
you felt that. That's
no, I really did. And for many years, I had a hard time having eye contact with people. Oh. And it was interesting because I realized that even a lot of my interpersonal relationships, in my romantic relationships, it was affected. And it was really when my skin cleared up that I was able to really have more intimate interactions and engagement and express myself, because I couldn't do the eye contact thing.
So that's super interesting. So that's maybe something that if there's something that's really bothering
you. And I wasn't aware of it until after the fact.
Well, then that's a good thing to look at. So
it's like the people that you see that have, I work in the dental field, you see them, hold their lip down and not really smile. Right. And then when you do some kind of reconstruction on their teeth, then they smile for the first time. And
you're like, oh my God,
you
so
see everything light up. But it's more of an internal, I can open myself up to the world.
Interesting.
And if you have some kind of thing that's keeping you from doing that, then I think...
Well, that's a really good point. So we were going to be all like, it's all about how creative you are and how smart you are and da-da-da. Sure. Okay. If there's something that's truly horrifyingly bothering you and really handicapping you in your search for success and expression and creativity and love and all of that stuff, by all means, see what you can do about it. But just really do make sure still that it's not something kind of silly. I mean, right now we've got the rise of the makeup artists where they're contouring shit, and they're kind of succeeding through initial self-deprecation, which makes them kind of link with people, because if you look gorgeous all the time, you're not going to get that emotional reaction from people, because they're like, that person's perfect. We don't give a crap
struggle.
What they think. They
I can't relate to that person.
Life. Yeah.
So people need to relate to you as an artist. They need to know that you have a human side.
Totally.
And when you are not perfect all the time, then they can relate to you. And I think that's number one right there. I mean, as far as, we're not advocating that
you stay ugly.
We're not advocating that you stay ugly, but we're also not advocating that you mutilate yourself to be these typical ideal standards of beauty.
Absolutely not. We're saying find that signature thing. Find who you are. I mean, there's so many things about you that are unique. Like, I'm freakishly tall. Some people...
I sit on 3 pillows, so you know, and I'm still not making the cut, people. Yeah, making the cut.
But it's something that some people find really weird about me, and some people find endearing. You find your people...
I never noticed until she
sat next to me, and then she was
I had to film with her. I never noticed her height, ever.
When we took our pictures for...
I stood on a brick. Not a little brick. It was a cement block.
A cement block.
Yeah. She's a cement block taller than me, and probably is even more taller than that. No, seriously, I never noticed until
it's amazing.
Never even occurred to me.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's the thing that I think you have some things that you think about yourself are so crazy. And I mean, we all have things that we don't like about ourselves at all times. I mean, but if you can say, which one of my things am I going to look at with kindness? And am I going to look at and say, this is not a big deal. This is something that I can work with. Work with it by all means.
Well, and I think what we're talking about is, don't allow these things
to keep you from success.
To keep you from
this is a lie.
Being creative or putting yourself out there.
And this is a
self-defeating
thing.
If you don't want to be on film, don't be on film. But write or do audio podcast or do something
But so you're saying you're saying you're saying do the audio podcast, but sometimes in this world you kind of have to put yourself out into a public sphere. So even if you're an artist, you have to have your opening. And I know a lot of people who are like, oh no, I couldn't do that because I can't
find something to wear.
I can't find something to wear. I'm just too fat. Or I don't want to be in this professional magazine for having excelled in my field because
that's
I
what
look
this
like
cocktail's
crap.
For.
And my hair is
Drink 2 of these.
Yeah, drink 2 of the beautifuls.
And then
you're gonna
accept
feel
the invitation.
Exactly. For sure, though. It's, I think that always people tend to look at themselves so much worse than they are.
Yeah.
And so many other people who come
And there's a lot of people that don't look at themselves as bad as they are.
That's true, too. But
we're going to name any names.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, hey.
But if you go to an art opening and you're the artist, nobody cares how you dressed.
No.
They care what your art looks like.
Look at Yoko Ono.
Yeah, look at Yoko. I mean, John Lennon thought she was the hottest shit
She was
on
jacked
earth.
up. And
yeah.
I mean, he climbed that ladder and it said, what did it say?
Oh, God, I can't
This
remember
is whatever, something positive, like, have a nice day or something. And he was like, this is so positive. I love it.
He's like, I love it. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love her forever. That is the thing behind the love
can't
goggles.
believe I brought Yoko into this.
I know. I knew you would, though.
You can be my Yoko Ono. Whoa, whoa.
I had a feeling
You can follow me wherever I go. Be my Yoko Ono. Whoa, whoa. That's a Bare Naked Ladies song.
See, isn't that nice?
Hi, Bare Naked Ladies. I used to go see them in college all the time before they became famous.
I know.
And
yeah,
I love that song. That's their song.
They had such a good band name too. I just love the Bare.
Bare Naked Ladies.
They didn't say bare, gorgeous, skinny Playboy model ladies. They said
Bare
Naked
Ladies.
Like,
they didn't care.
Naked Ladies, yay! They didn't care.
They didn't care if they were fat. They didn't care if they had like hair on their ass.
They did not. They did not. And that's the other thing. When you bare yourself, let's talk about that. When you bare yourself, when you show that real, sincere side of yourself.
Yeah. When you become a bare naked lady.
A bare naked lady. Creatively and morally and
you can be my Yoko Ono.
I don't know why I'm encouraging this, but you have that attractive quality, that openness, that ability to put yourself out is beautiful. And I think that really
you kind of you just destroy these stupid barriers.
Yes,
that people make up.
It is a barrier. It's an invented barrier.
Yeah,
it is for sure.
It's nonsense.
It is nonsense. And also
my old boss used to say, "Kid, that's bullshit on top of bullshit."
It is bullshit on top of bullshit. Yeah. But the other thing is that when you achieve a certain level of success, look at Jeff Bezos, for example. I'm even saying his name right. Bezos.
I don't even know. What did he make?
Amazon.
Oh God.
A little thing called Amazon. Little thing.
He just destroyed every brick and mortar store in America, and the rest of the fucking world. Okay. And I was like, who's that?
Who's that? I don't know who that is. But you look at him, he was super ordinary. And then he starts this whole freaking thing. I mean,
he's like, hey, baby, hey.
Exactly. Look at Elon Musk, who looked like a freak show before. What did he do? Do you know Elon Musk? Sorry. She made me blow sparkling water up my nose earlier.
Didn't he smoke weed on the Joe Rogan show?
Yes, he did. He's done other things too.
Did he did some other stuff?
Tesla.
Oh, I only saw the rocket in Tiburon when I was on a walk.
Look at Bill Gates. Does anybody say anymore? Bill Gates looks like a nerd. They don't give a shit.
We're like, we don't talk about what he looks like.
We don't talk.
All we talk about is his bank account.
People thought.
But if it's a woman,
but also, if it's a woman, no. Look at any of these women who are out there on the stage doing TED Talks, being entrepreneurs, being artists. They have, look at, anybody.
Brene Brown, she does shame and vulnerability research.
Yes.
She's ultra fucking famous.
Yes.
Across every genre.
Exactly.
Every genre.
And they don't, if you find your signature look, if you find a way to make yourself look taken care of, clean, groomed, more or less, and
you're not slovenly.
You're not a disgusting slob. You don't need to wear your torn t-shirt, onto stage. You wear something that fits you, and it doesn't matter what size you are. I don't care. Wear something that fits you. Groom yourself approximately. I don't
take a freaking shower, people.
Take a shower. Hello. I don't brush my hair, but that's that's fine. That's my thing. That's my signature.
I wouldn't if I had that much hair.
It's my signature move. But you make an effort with the things that matter, and fucking smile. Fucking help people, and people are going to find you gorgeous.
Yeah,
that's
true.
The simple thing. So just for fun, we had a list of the 15 creative activities that women found most to least attractive in men. And funnily enough, even though that funny figure that we saw at the beginning, where women were less attractive when they were creative and intelligent.
Yeah, we're basically telling you that.
We're telling you that that's bullshit. So just, ignore that. This we like better. But it was funny because they were ranking these creative pursuits from attractiveness, high to low, and it's the same for men and women, which I found pretty funny. So we're going to go through them. We can riff on them just a little bit, and you guys can tell us if we're being assholes about it. I think it's always fun. So the number one, and this is so funny, they call this a creative behavior, which I think it is, playing sports.
That's not a creative behavior.
I think you're wrong. Playing sports, if it's strategic, and if you're growing something, if you're growing your team, you're interacting. Okay, I don't love sports. It's just like saying, though, that you don't like nature. Remember that? So she got so pissed because somebody said she didn't like nature. Not me. It wasn't me. Swear to God. But I'm not a big sports enthusiast.
No, I've never watched a game. Not one game with her. Not one.
No. But I'll do it, and I can see the beauty and the creativity in some sports.
That's true.
Like, let's talk about like my daughter plays polo, and that's to me a super creative and beautiful sport. That's really aesthetic, and it's pretty cool. But I think even in the football or soccer, arena, you can see some interesting.
I can watch some baseball.
I can watch some baseball.
I like to watch the Warriors, and I like to watch the Giants.
For me, it's all about the hot dogs and the drink.
Yeah,
so
I like the mustard and the beer.
Oh my God, me too. But that's the thing that I think that we can see sports as a creative thing. And also, if you look at the marketing these days, the marketing in sports is very creative. Everything that's like, all the ads and all of the product placement.
It's true. There's a lot of creativity.
There's a lot of creativity involved.
All right, I'm convinced.
Okay, you're convinced?
Sold. Okay.
Awesome. I love it. So that they're saying that's the most attractive creative behavior. I don't agree with that.
Well, that is the most homogenous, probably, across the board.
Yeah.
The people, there's probably more people. It's more common.
It's more common. I also like the fact that athletes are kind of judged more on, like, if it's their body, or it's more about the performance aspect of their body, and it's less about how traditionally beautiful they are. Even though in tennis, the girls who are prettier, and in golf, the girls who are prettier are always getting more.
Well, and they really do bring a lot of their personality into the story now. There's like people are really, athletes are, they're the highest paid. I don't get it, but they're the highest paid.
They're highly paid
people in our culture, and they bring in these stories.
They do.
People really...
And they inspire people. To me, that's very creative. They're inspirational. They kind of gather people from different walks of life. I look at Serena Williams, I think she's done a lot for, just in general for society. I just think she's amazing. She's done the fashion. She's the mom. She's got a great relationship. She's a person.
And you also see these young people kind of overcoming circumstances
completely
where they wouldn't normally.
It's inspirational. I think it's inspirational. So then they have another creative behavior that they judged as really cool, which was like the spontaneous behavior, like something like a spontaneous road trip or something. They're saying that that's very creative, and I was like, that sounds like the whole long walks on the beach, kind of dating profile kind of creativity. But I'll take it. It's fine.
What is it?
Taking a date on a spontaneous road trip. That's like...
Can we just move on from that? That is like, who does that?
Well, I force my husband to do it all the time, but it's not spontaneous because I decided it long ago. So it's not like he thinks it's spontaneous.
A date, though, that's your husband.
It's still a date.
It's not a stranger. They're not talking about a stranger.
No, they're talking about a date.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul tried to get me to go on a spontaneous road trip the other day, and
I
was like, I have to work.
Oh, the road trip to no, not the road trip to the aquarium.
No, that didn't work out for it. Yeah, that
the love goggles came right off. They were smacked off.
I was like,
the love goggles got pulled off.
Yeah, they got chucked in the incinerator.
You're gonna like number 3, recording music.
Oh,
see,
God.
That's why Paul's still here.
Well, remember I used to record music on my phone.
Yes.
What did I used to call it? It was.
Oh my God, you were so funny.
It was like
so good. It was so good. What did you call it?
Oh God, It was like I would
Wounded Animal
recordings. Yeah,
Wounded
so I would do
Animal.
these covers with
good.
acoustic guitar,
Yes.
and then I would on my voice memos.
Think Alanis Morissette meets The Cure.
Yeah, and I would send them to Karina, and they were called, and my production company was called Wounded Animal Production.
I think we need to bring that back because that was amazing.
Oh my god, I should send you one this week.
My love goggles would come on immediately.
Yeah, you were just like, what?
I loved it. I loved it.
Wounded Animal Productions.
Really good.
Yeah, it was good.
See, that is really attractive. See, we agree that that's amazing.
I mean, you were the only person that thought that, but okay.
But see, the love goggles one, when it came to that, I think if my husband recorded music for me, I'd kind of be like,
Paul has sent me music, made songs for me.
Okay, Paul's music is a little like, better, maybe?
A lot of
but
times.
if my husband made a playlist for me, I'd be kind of interested.
Remember,
like,
people would make a mixtape?
Yes.
Yeah, mixtape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mixtape playlist.
Yeah, mixtape.
Progress. But yeah, I think that's cute. I mean, and I think the music kind of puts you in these different. That's very romantic.
It is.
That's kind of cool. And also, if you make a playlist,
Wounded Animal Productions was
awesome.
Romantic.
It wasn't romantic, but it showed you cared.
Yeah. Well, it showed that I was properly self-reflective about my own singing abilities.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna love this. Number 4, making a clever remark. Oh, I mean, in that case,
what is the premise of this list
that they're
again?
creative activities that people find most attractive. In order.
Yes, it's true.
It's true.
And I
right?
use this, and I've used this one constantly.
The snappy comeback.
Oh,
We're the hottest people on earth.
Constantly overriding my actual physical attractiveness by clever remarks.
Oh, we're the fucking hottest when it comes to clever remarks.
All you have to do is read a lot, learn your tropes, learn how to,
learn your tropes, people.
Learn your tropes, people.
Learn your tropes. If you don't know what a trope is, you need to go back to our episode on the dark and stormy. Learn your effing tropes. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Stoops. My God. Oh.
Yeah. The Goop Stoop.
The Goop Stoop.
You can watch the Goop Stoop too.
Yeah, you people who listen to the Goop podcast more than you listen to
Cry Me a River.
Cry Me a River. Wounded Animal version of Cry Me a River.
Wounded Animal Productions. Right here.
Boom. Okay, performing in a band and writing music are the next 2. See, we just covered that, so we don't have to.
We covered that.
We covered it. We're good. Okay.
We cover banded.
This is so good. Taking artistic photographs. I'm like, nude photographs? What kind of artistic photographs?
I mean, you know what? Stieglitz already existed. He already existed.
I'm telling you, that's how he got so hot for, I am telling you.
That guy actually knew how to work a camera.
For O'Keefe with like the weird numbers of F's
if
and
you
whatever.
were doing artistic photographs on Instagram, it does
hot.
not fucking count.
No. Back then, you were super hot. Yeah, you're no Instagram poet or no Instagram, no. The old time photographers, that's super hot. But I think now
Insta Stieglitz, no.
Insta Stieglitz.
How about computer says no?
Computer says now. But I think that now I worry when I hear somebody talking about photography because automatically I think now we're talking about that beauty standard.
Yeah, we're talking about all the
lighting. Let's Photoshop my ass so it looks like this, and let's take out all the shadows of my face because I don't. It's sad when somebody's afraid of a wrinkle or of a back.
Yeah.
Anybody who spends that much of their life looking so perfect has a very boring life otherwise, and anybody who can't see the truth behind that is really not thinking of the problem appropriately because it's obvious to me, but that's just me. Okay, so performing in a band, I think that's kind of cool and cute, except when you're, I don't know, I think sharing your person because they're up there in the band.
I guess it depends on what band you're in.
I think so. Yeah. If you're a band that's based on your talent and on your music and the people love your songs, we like you, and that's really cool, and it's cool to be in a relationship. Well, it's
funny because I just listened to an Andy Pizza creative pep talk.
I left him a love note. Did you see on our Instagram?
I
was like, we missed you, Andy. He came back from his break.
From his hiatus. Mm-hmm. Oh, but I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he talked about how he was talking about his podcast on taste, and how he was in a really bad band, and he was embarrassed, and he was like,
don't be embarrassed, Andy.
And he was like, I don't want to name any names because I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh my God.
I was like, Andy.
Stop judging yourself.
Andy.
Stop it, Andy.
Stop it. We're going to give him a creative pep talk.
We are.
Enough
Andy,
already.
You need to.
Everybody was in a bad band.
Exactly.
Everybody was in I'm still in a bad band called November Robot.
See?
What the fuck is November Robot? It's horrible.
I like Wounded Animal. a lot better.
Wounded Animal Productions is fucking brilliant.
It was good.
November Robot is a band. Not so good.
No. But I'm not judging. I'm looking at
But I don't actually care.
Love goggles on.
Love goggles and goggles and goggles.
But I think that anybody who is in a band where their physical, attributes are more important than the production of the band, I think that that's very hard to look at that and be like, ooh, that's a really attractive trait. In the long term, I think you're like, fuck that. Maybe for a second, that's cool. But no. So another thing that they're saying is kind of attractive is dressing in a unique style. Whether it's a dude or a girl. Like, well, that's fun. I like it when you have like...
I do that.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Like, I think it's cool to have unique, outfits or unique pieces that you like to bring out. I mean, I have to say, I went to visit a friend who just had an operation today. And she usually is always dressed like very sports casual, like in trousers and t-shirts. Like basically that's all I ever see her in. And she was wearing a caftan because she'd had this surgery and she was kind of swollen from the surgery, and this caftan and I was like, you look so cute. Like this caftan was so unique. Like it just added this whole layer. Yeah. So I think people think the designer clothes or this and that. Who gives a shit about that? I like the interesting clothes. Yeah. Like find your signature cool outfit.
Find your style.
Find your style.
And play with it.
Play with your style. And just wear things that suit you, but not just because you're thinking like, oh, I have to wear this because I've got a fat ass. Wear the things that suit you because you're like, I really like this. This is me. Like that makes a huge difference. Okay, people also like people who write poetry, which,
Skip that.
I mean, I don't like right now the current trend for the Instagram poetry where I think it's very superficial. And I think that that's kind of maybe polluted that for us. I'm thinking that.
What about Rumi poetry? Remember our days of Rumi?
Our faux Rumi. Oh, yeah. God. We used to do fake Rumi poetry. It was good. Or the golden shower, the eagle going over the mountain with the golden shower. It was good. I thought it was good. She's embarrassed.
It was pretty good.
It was really good.
It was definitely.
We fooled people who worked it out. Yeah, it was good. So then, inventing new recipes. We do this constantly.
Oh my God!
Unbeknownst to some of our
constantly?
Viewers, we do this quite frequently.
We're like, I don't have that. Oh, well, we have that. That's the right color.
We invent new recipes.
It's very creative around Creative Happy Hour.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then Martha Stewart is and that's why Martha Stewart's had a long-lived career. She used to be a model. She was never that famous as a model.
Well, she's not a model
of
anything
financial responsibility.
Ooh.
I don't know, but no, when she was a model, when Martha Stewart was a model, she wasn't famous at all. She wasn't that successful. She was just a model. And now that she's an older woman, but she has the passion and she has her recipes and her creativity and her rapport with people, now she has come into her own, and she's put together. But she's not the model anymore, but who cares? Like that, and that's a wonderful example, actually, if we could find one. I like that.
I love it.
Yeah. Then they had, this is so great, drawing pictures. Drawing. I mean, that's fine.
Making sculptures.
Writing short stories. Okay, this is the best. This is so, styling your hair in an interesting way. Who knew? I don't know. They might have asked 15-year-olds for this list.
I don't really have any hair, so I can't really style it.
I just have so much hair that I just have to let it sit as it may. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the 15 things that people find least attractive in terms of creative pursuits. Yeah, I've got them here.
Oh God.
Okay.
It's driving me to drink.
Lowest ranking, the least preferred. Can you guess what it is? Did you look at my?
No, I didn't look.
Okay. What is the least attractive creative pursuit according to women and men?
Asking how you look.
No, that's not a creative pursuit. Stop.
Oh, a creative pursuit.
Yeah, creative pursuit.
Creative pursuit.
Least attractive.
Least attractive.
This is really terrible. This is terrible because a lot of the stuff on the list is stuff I do. So I'm like, oh no. Okay, I'm just gonna jump into it. Making clothes.
Making clothes? I do shit like that too.
No. Oh no, you're gonna hate this list because this is all us. So we're the least attractive. That's fine. Okay, making clothes is the least attractive.
They're gonna be like, unsubscribe.
I know, unsubscribe. You guys are ugly and stupid. Entering a science contest.
I don't do shit like that.
We could have told you that. No, we're just kidding. Come on, if you're a science nerd, you're awesome in your own way. We just don't have the love goggles on for you, but somebody else will. Yeah, for sure. Look and see Big Bang Theory. People love that dumb show. Which
Bang, Big Bang. I love Big Bangs.
Right? She likes Bang Bang. Yeah. Interior decorating. Oops.
Oopsers.
Oopsers. Spent all day today designing a bathroom. Why isn't that sexy, people?
Oh, come on. Throw a girl a bone.
Choosing toilets. Why is that not sexy? Creativity. I did that. Making ad campaigns. Oops, we do that. Like constantly. So that's not sexy.
Oh my God.
I think it is. I think the whole ad campaign, like whoever did the most interesting man in the world ad campaign, you're creative and awesome and cool and attractive to us. You are. And look at the most interesting man in the world. He's not a classically gorgeous dude, but he's the most interesting man in the world. So people were like, oh, he's good looking. Like that's a great little message. Making websites, not awesome. Computer programming, also not sexy. Gardening. Oops.
Oh my God, there's so many gardeners.
Farmers not sexy, according to people, which I think
I would do a farmer.
FarmersOnly.com would beg to differ. You know,
I could get down with the Farmer's Almanac.
Right?
Like if I saw
get down with the Farmer's
Like
Almanac.
if I saw some guy at the cafe, like
at
reading
at the hoedown,
reading the Farmer's Almanac, drinking a coffee, like a shade-grown, organic,
you kick your dick in the dirt.
Sumatra, dark roasted, fair trade ass shit.
She was a hipster farmer.
Reading the Farmer's Almanac.
That would knock your dick in the dirt.
That would knock my dick totally in the dirt. I would be like, hey, baby, hey. Yeah, anyway, I'm just completely...
Moving right along.
Anyway,
so as you can see, there's something for everyone. Just saying. Okay, exterior decorating. I can't believe they had to like put this as a separate...
They needed an extra one.
They wanted an extra one?
That's bullshit.
Oh, applying math in a creative and original way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well we still need math to build bridges, people, or they fall in the fucking ocean.
Right?
Applied math is important, so fuck off.
Thank you,
we need trigonometry.
We do.
Thank you very little.
Thank you.
What the hell?
People
don't like applied math?
You know what? Do us a favor. Go find a mathematician. Tell them they're sexy. Do us a favor.
I would do some trigonometrist right now.
See?
That is hot as hell.
There's someone for everyone.
Trigonometry is hot,
and then
people.
This is the funniest, is event planning is another one that's very unattractive.
Yeah, it's kind of unattractive. I agree.
Okay, we have an event planner.
I agree with that. That's kind of sucks.
We have an event planner who's going to be a guest star on our show, 3 weeks from now? Ooh. It's going to be a smackdown, hoedown, showdown. We're going to love it.
Shit.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to show her this episode, and she's going to be ready for you. Micah. She's not going to have the love goggles on in any way, shape, or form. This will be so good. I love it. I wonder what we're going to drink. We'll come up with something. If you want to tell us what to drink, comment down below. But hopefully we have convinced you guys that you can still be successful, happy, creative. Oh, you're going to act this out? Are you going to do the ballet?
Ballet pantomime, everyone.
Okay, let's do this. Let's try this. Do that. You can be successful, artistic.
Oh wait, I should be like,
okay,
that's the money.
Oh yeah, good. I like that. The money.
The
money. You can be successful, artistic, creative. You can have a happy life, and you don't have to look the way that every magazine tells you that you need to look. You can decide how you should look. Make yourself look good as possible for you and your loved ones and your fans. Okay, you guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Creative Happy Hour.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, and we will get drunk
on the creative possibilities
next time. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.